working on it. Can you hear me, Don McENERY? Are you there? No, you're not there. Oh, you were there. No, you're not there. Is what it is. Lovely. Love when we set all this stuff up. Let's see. Are we live? I think we're live. Anybody out there? Bear with us while we figure this out. Get connected with our guest here. I think we'll be all right. Okay. All right, do that one more time. All right, we'll give it a couple minutes and see if our guest, Don McENERY, jumps back in here. He was there just a second ago, so I'm assuming he'll come back. Yep, we're in the room. All good. All right. Hi. Hi, everybody. Hello, my friend at home. Welcome back. Tonight is Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. My name is Jay Ryan. I'm back here in the Late Night Playset. Thank you for dialing us up this evening. We are here, as usual, broadcasting love and good vibes. Live at 5 every Tuesday and Thursday. Our guest this evening, if he jumps back in here, is going to be Mr. Don McENERY. Don McENERY wrote, actually won an Emmy, I believe. Was at least nominated. I think he might have won an Emmy for an episode of Seinfeld that he wrote. He wrote the film It's a Bug's Life, and or just A Bug's Life, and many, many other things. Here he is. I see him jumping in. Looks like he's trying to connect right now. We'll see. Don, you're a black screen. I don't know if you can hear me or not. If you can hear me, say hello. I don't know. He says he'll log in again. We'll work on that. Anyway, wonderfully accomplished writer, wonderfully accomplished comedian, very funny man. He's been on the show before in person. Tonight we're going to be doing one of the the Zoom, the Skype deal. He's not here, live via satellite, and we'll figure that out. In the meantime, we've got a TBT. Here we go. Hi, Don McENERY.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. You just
look
at that. That's so funny. Okay. You called and there it is. I'm going to hang up the phone.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, there he is.
Right, so
welcome our guest, everybody. Mr. Don McENERY, writer of A Bug's Life.
Okay.
We were just telling him about Seinfeld and a couple other things. How you doing, mister? Can you hear me?
I'm all right, but why is my screen backwards? Am I looking?
Well, I think probably because I was looking at you for a second. Here, I'll do a split screen. How's that? Can you hear me?
Let me get rid of the dashboard. All right, there we go. There's something.
I think you've done a fine job.
How's that?
And you look great.
Yeah, I'm freezing again.
You look like you've lost a bit of weight since I saw you last. Any truth to that?
I've lost about 25 pounds for no reason.
Oh. Well,
yeah,
congratulations. We do have a bit of a delay here, don't we?
I'm frozen. Yeah, we have a big delay. I'm like not moving at all.
How is your internet over there? And I'm only asking because
I'm going to log on again?
Maybe if you want to jump out and jump back into the room, this will be the experimental show. Anyway, we've got Don McENERY's here. If we can get the bugs worked out of the system, we're going to have a nice conversation with him. He looks like he's walking all around his place right now. And he jumped out. Anyway, it's going to be the Shoot the Shit show. He's got some stuff to promote, but we're really just going to be kind of talking and reminiscing about stories. He's got so many stories. He knows so many people, and he's been so many places and done so many things. So that's what we're going to get into in a little bit. In the meantime, we've got a TBT, because it's Thursday, and that's what we do. And we've got an East Coast feed. The guys are on their honeymoon. In fact, let's do that now, as a matter of fact, just to get it out of the way. East Coast feed, checking in with Danbury Chive, Brooke and the Kazman, and they're honeymooning, I believe, in Jamaica. Roll it, Hal.
Mr. Ryan, it is an East Coast feed coming to you from not the East Coast at all. We're in Jamaica. As you can see around us, a lot of palm trees and shit. And look, it's Bucket Hat Twins right here. I'm I'm repping my LA Cypress. She's got her red stripe. What you chugging about there? I'm sorry, bucket hats. I don't know why we did that. Anyway, we got champagne. Show me champagne, baby. There we go. They give us a bottle and everything. Like, you know, it's honeymoon style. That's how we roll here in Jamaica. Sandals and South Coast. And we're going to be in a bungalow. We'll take another resource. We use them out there. That's our bungalow. We have a private little joint. You know, whatever. Like it short, right, baby? Hold on. All right, that's it. Just want to send some East Coast feed love from Jamaica. Here it is.
I don't know about you at home, but I couldn't understand a word of that. I just heard a lot of wind, and I saw them. Did I hear Sandals? They're at Sandals. It's one of those all-inclusive places, I think. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I don't know what's going on with our buddy Don McENEry over here. It's just a black screen. Did you reboot? Don McENEry, reboot your phone or your computer or whatever you're on. Maybe that'll work. In the meantime, we'll just keep the train on rolling. I'm trying to think if there's anything I wanted to tell you up front. Anything you wanted to know? We got Breakfast Club tomorrow. We're back up at Newcomb's Ranch. We told you last week that we were going to go to Plan B, and we ended up going all the way to Newcomb's Ranch. The roads were open. Not the 2 all the way, but the back cut through 9 Mile was open. And it was so wonderful to be back up at Newcomb's Ranch, back up at home base for Breakfast Club. So we're going to be there again tomorrow. Hence, that's why I'm wearing my shirt in celebration, by the way. And if you feel like joining us, I know there's actually there's a whole bunch of people already because I posted early about it. But we'll be up at Newcomb's Ranch, 9 to 11, Breakfast Club, Good Vibes Breakfast Club, every Friday. Come on out if you feel like it. You don't have to have a Porsche. It's not just Porsche. Anybody cool and you have the morning off and you feel like getting some fresh air and some camaraderie, bring a mask. We'll have donuts and coffee. Sometimes somebody's got to bring burritos. Bo Schmo brought burritos a couple weeks ago, and that was like the start of something good, and then he's been out of town. So I don't know what happened, but I'd like to get back into that again. All right. Let's see. TBT. It's Thursday. As we do every Thursday here in the playset, we like to roll a TBT video. Today, let's see when we're going back to. I don't really remember. I think because our guest was last year 2 years ago, I think I tried to do a TBT about that, but I'm not sure. Oh, hey, hang on. Here he is again. Oh, you look so clear now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know.
Is that it? You can only hear me?
Still a little. I can see you too, but we're both a little. Now we're not even clear, and we're still,
yeah. Now it's like live time. Did you reboot or something? I feel like we've really gained some life back to this thing.
I quit out of the whole thing. I've done this 4 times already now. I was on at 4:30 just to make sure everything was right. It's perfect picture. And then at 1:55, it went blurry. And then, yeah, well. And then nothing.
Well, I'm sorry about that. Thanks for sticking with it. We're very happy to have you. I was doing the math today. I think it's been about 2 years since you were here. Is that right?
It's at least 2 years, yeah. Yeah.
That's unbelievable. I remember you being one of the first guests when we first got the Letterman set. If I recall.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
I remember that was the set. That was the set. I don't remember it being the first time.
No, you were just up there. You were one of our first people. So tell me about what you've been up to for the last 2 years. You lost 25 pounds. You look fantastic. A lot has happened in the world that's different. But
I did nothing to lose weight. I have not changed my life one iota. I don't work out any more than I did. I don't eat any more or less. I don't drink any more or less. I just weigh less. My wife's worried.
But your health-wise, you're fine. You look fine. You look healthy. Have you been checked out, or are you just assuming you're fine?
I went to the doctor to find out. Yeah, I went and got checked out. You don't lose 25 pounds for no reason. It's just you get old, you lose weight.
Well, the only reason I'm asking is this is what happened to me, and I had a health scare about 4 or 5 years ago, but I did. I dropped about 40 or 50 pounds very, very quickly for no reason at all, and it raised a lot of alarms, and then they started poking me and prodding me, and if you don't have any of that, they just said, hey, good job, then great.
Well, now you've got me worried.
That's the last thing I wanted.
What was wrong with you? You left that part of out. They poked
No,
and
I'm good.
prodded you, and what
I'm
did they
good. They
find?
poked me and prodded me for a long time, and then I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. So I went to a bunch of other things, and now I have I don't know how much you want to talk about this. I have a whole different belief system than I once did before and after my mysterious weight loss.
Yeah, and what is that?
Well, just in that I kind of used to trust in people and medicine and doctors and everything else, and going through that process made me realize that they don't know any more than I do, and in many cases, often less.
Well, I'm sure most doctors do know more about medicine than you do,
You think so?
and me. I'm not.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that they probably know more than we do. I'm sure there are bad doctors out there, but they don't know everything, and I believe in holistic stuff, and that's fine,
Yes.
But
The time frame that we were
I,
going through
I
this,
totally didn't. Go ahead.
the time frame in which we were going through this happened to coincide with my wife was sick at the same time going through MS, so we had a dozen specialists for her, and then I was going through something separate with a lot of similar specialists and then different ones. What was happening at the same time was the digitization of all of the records and everything. So it was the moment they started wheeling in the iPads with the doctor and the person to take all the
Yeah.
data.
Oh God.
It was like a crazy learning phase where the doctors weren't looking you in the eye anymore to find out what your symptoms were. They were just on the thing, scrolling, trying to find the right box to check based on the questions they were asking you. There was no, we just didn't have the connection that you would hope to. Bedside manner. They used to call it bedside manner, just where a doctor was able to relate to you in a way that could make you perhaps take the sting off of whatever fearful information they were passing along your way. While I was going through it, there was
Right.
none of that. It was we don't know anything. This is all new. Yeah, bear with us.
Yeah, those are scary words to hear. First of all.
Well, all right. All of that aside, you are healthy. You look fantastic. It's been 2 years, but I would like to know what you've been doing in the last 2 years besides losing weight for no reason.
You would think I had done something in the last 2 years, but I'm doing the same thing. It's this thing is crazy. I've realized my life hasn't changed all that much since being locked down. I spent all day in the house anyway. I actually go out more now. My wife's working from home, so we go out walking more. We used to walk every weekend. I would work out every day, but now we go outside every day and walk. If I wasn't on the road, and even on the road, I stay in a hotel room and go out for a walk. It's like there's really not a lot of difference.
Right.
So I'm reading ridiculous amounts of books. I'm probably reading a book a week.
Oh, wow. That's great.
So it's and I where I live in a house with a backyard and decks and my wife's downstairs during the day working. I'm upstairs. It's
You
not
have
like
places,
I'm
you
living
have
in
stations.
yeah yeah. There's worse places to be locked into. I'll tell you that.
We sort of felt the same way again through that health stuff and everything. And you haven't been here in a while, but Nicole's in a wheelchair now because of her MS. I mean, it's just kind of becoming a little more real. Boy, why the hell? No, it's okay. I just can't remember why the hell I was going to tell you that. But life has gotten completely different for most people, except for the people who sort of already were living this life. And I don't even know what this life is, but we made the change
Yeah.
to working at home
If you call
a
this
couple
a
of years
life.
before everyone else. And the decision to take a shower and get out of your pajamas every day, even if you don't need to, from the waist down on your Zoom or whatever. Those were choices we all made a few years before everyone else.
Believe me, I'm wearing street clothes in my house for the first time in ever. Like it's just to do this. I put on an actual shirt. I put on pants. I still have slippers on. I still have my slippers on, but and other than that, I wear a white T-shirt every day. This is all I wear: white T-shirts. I have a drawer full of white T-shirts and my sweatpants. I am the Einstein of leisure wear.
Because of the uniform? Is that what you mean? I would have gone
that's-
Steve Jobs.
You know what you're going to wear? It's Einstein. Well, yeah, exactly. Like Einstein had 7 suits that were exactly the same. He didn't have to. He didn't want to think about what he had to wear.
I
I wear a white
100% agree with
T-shirt.
that.
Yeah, and if you don't have to go out, why? You ever watch TV and any TV? People are at home wearing clothes, like shirts and pants and regular clothes. It's like, well, and suits and ties. In the old shows, they were wearing jackets and ties.
Oh
You're
yeah.
home. Put on some pajamas and lounge out.
No, Rob Petrie would come home from work and sit down at the dining room table in the suit.
It's amazing to me.
Rob Petrie was the Dick Van Dyke Show for anyone else. For anyone
Yeah,
slightly younger than us who might
anybody
not
else.
remember.
I wonder.
Let's see.
I'll bet you that show. I bet you that show is popular enough that one of the shows that I bet you everybody knows that show, even younger people today.
I don't know if you're right,
It's just
but I sure hope you are. That show is special to me. I love that show. Something about being something. That was the first show I think I saw. Well, maybe Lou Grant at the same time, or Mary Tyler Moore. But that was really the first kind of show that was behind the scenes of a show that I had seen. It was a show within a show.
Yeah,
And
that
Larry
is the
Sanders
first.
later,
That
and so
probably
many
was
others.
the first show. Yeah, that probably was the blueprint for that.
I didn't. Not to get on a whole Dick Van Dyke thing here, but I didn't find out until recently that. Shit, now I'm drawing a blank on his name. Carl Reiner wanted to. He was actually Rob Petrie. It was actually written about him for him, and he
He
wouldn't
wrote
have
it.
passed the
He
network
wrote
tests.
it.
Yeah, I knew that,
Right.
but I didn't
He
know that
did.
it was actually
He
about
did the
him, and he
pilot.
wanted to play it.
Right. He did the pilot. He did a
I
pilot.
didn't know any of that. Had you
And, they
had you
showed
seen
it-
that
they-
ahead of, like before? I don't know.
I
Had
hadn't
you
seen
known
it
that
till
ahead of
very
time?
recently. They played it recently on TV. They did a Dick Van Dyke thing. I think it was on TV. I know I have seen it.
Yeah,
And so he did a pilot, and he's the one who said, "Oh, I'm not right for this."
That's
it wasn't
interesting.
it wasn't the network who told him he couldn't do it. He's the one who said, "Forget it. Got to get somebody else to play me."
no. Wow, that's so unusual in this business.
And then he played Sid Caesar, or whatever version of that.
Did you used to watch those shows, like Sid Caesar Show of Shows, and all of the I'm trying to think of who else had.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Red Skelton had one.
Those were on. I was a kid. They were on 50s, whatever. I was born in 54, so I know they were on while they were alive, but I don't remember them.
Yeah.
I remember
What is your
going
earliest
to
television memory?
the museum of. My earliest television memories are more movies. Like my aunt and uncle had no kids, and they used to take me home for weekends. I was their favorite nephew, and I grew up with 5 kids, and they were Rich Uncle Ray and Aunt Anya, and Anya is a Gaelic name for Anne, and I had the upstairs of the house, and I had a bedroom and another room with a TV, and I stayed up late. I remember the most memorable things to me as a kid were I saw It's a Wonderful Life,
Oh, that's great.
and I never knew the name of the movie. I saw this movie, and for 20 years, I would say to people, "Do you ever see this movie with a guy wishes he was never born?" And people go, "I don't know what the hell you're talking about." Nobody knew what that was. I mean, it's such a famous movie now. It wasn't when I was a kid, and I would say, "What? This movie was fantastic." And the other movie was A Christmas Carol with Alistair Sim.
Oh,
I
funny.
remember watching those late at night, in in that room upstairs on my own, and being amazed by them. But as a kid, I liked the Monkees, and and that was I was in the 6th grade or whatever, or 8th grade or whatever. Dick Van Dyke Show I remember watching. Bonanza. My father
sure.
loved what was that army show with
Oh, F Troop.
Combat.
Oh, Combat.
And
Sure.
F Troop, oh sure, F Troop, sure. Combat, but that was young. Combat was before that. Bonanza and Ed Sullivan Show, that kind of stuff. It's my earliest memories. I don't
My
remember-
dad.
I-
My
you know,
dad. Would,
I can't. I have no concept of how old I was at certain times. You know what I mean? Like, how was I old? How old was I when that happened? Or how many years ago was that? I don't know.
who cares, right?
Well, some people know that to a T. Oh, that's what bothers
But
me about. I love the show. I really like the show. The Goldbergs.
love it.
But the
I
Goldbergs
like their
always
delivery
start with
method for
it was
nostalgic.
1980 something.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, but he's always saying, it's 1980 something. You don't remember what year you were in high school? You were a senior. Last night's season premiere. He's a senior in high school, and he don't remember what year you were a senior in high school? It wasn't
That's funny.
1980 something. Tell me what year it was. It's 1980. What are you hiding your age or something? Just tell me what year it was, for God's sakes.
I
Stop
like it.
obfuscating.
That's one of the things I like about that show is that it is just a generic. It's just a generic nostalgia show. You're right. They don't say, "All right, in 1987, blah 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 happened with the Mets and the blah blah blah." It's like, no, it's all very specific memories from this kid and his camcorder.
But
I
they're
was
not
that kid.
specific.
That's why that show resonates with me. I was
Really?
totally that kid.
I mean, that kid, he really was obsessed with taking, that's he has all those tapes. It's amazing. And I call
He's
him a
the
kid,
action.
even though,
That's the creator of the show, right? It's based on.
yeah, yeah. It's based on him taking all of, just doing videos all the time. Everything, I have a little lag. You're perfect. You're,
Thank you so much, Don McENERY. I didn't want to come right
no,
out and say it. What is your what kind of television do you watch nowadays? Do you watch anything these days?
God, I watch everything. God damn, I'm watching
Do you?
so much TV.
Oh.
Yeah, we even we even ponied up for Netflix, I guess, once the pandemic. No, we already had Netflix. We ponied up for Amazon when the
Oh, yeah.
pandemic. And
I enjoy the Amazon.
and we watch a lot of I'm watching Endeavor, which is the Inspector Morse, or a lot of the BBC, English shows. I love The Boys. You watch The Boys?
No, I
Oh
don't
my
even know about it.
God. It's great.
We
The Boys is a
we've been
new
off
show.
we disconnected. What do you call it? Cut the cord like 5 years ago. So we have television through the internet on the AT&T, on the Apple TV or whatever, but we just don't watch it the way we used to, and I kind of like that. So I don't really know stuff that's really kind of contemporary these days. Is The Boys something that everyone knows?
I think so. I mean, it's for a much younger audience than me, but I really like it. My wife wouldn't watch it for a minute. She would go, she'd tune out and go watch something else. But
What's it about? Is it period or is it?
it's superheroes.
Oh dear Lord, I'm out.
Superheroes, but they've been they don't know it, but they've been taking drugs, and that's what makes them the superheroes. But they're also really shitheads, and one of them's a murderer, and he's been going around the world giving terrorists the blue formula so he can create super terrorists so they can get their job remains safe so they can fight the super terrorists.
I did just read
it's
the
funny,
blurb on
it's,
this yesterday. It's actually entertaining?
Yeah,
I watched. Speaking of Amazon,
I like it a lot.
they've got a new series that just popped up this week called Utopia. Did you see that one yet? Rainn Wilson and
I didn't watch it yet, but
John Cusack. Throw it in your queue.
I'll watch anything with John.
Yeah, throw it in your queue. It's very.
It is. It's on my watch list.
It's very poignant
Waiting
right
to
now.
watch other stuff. Yeah, really, I'm going to watch that soon because I want something else to watch. But I'll watch. I love John Cusack. I don't think there's a thing he's done that isn't good. He's been in some bad movies, but he's so good.
I agree with you. He makes choices for reasons that we may not necessarily understand, but I definitely agree with his choices. This was a show not dissimilar to Mr. Robot, which just feels very, very contemporary right now because of our landscape and our cultural energy. Man, this one I started it last night at maybe 8:00, which is the worst time to start
Mr.
like a
Robot?
binging show.
Which one?
No, sorry, we're still
Utopia
on,
or
back to Utopia. Yeah, thank you. And it was one of those where I was up till 2 a.m. because I couldn't every time it would roll into the next episode. Well, I just keep it going. And so I watched 6 of them last night, and I woke up early and finished the last 2 this morning because I was like, what the hell? I gotta do this. Highly recommend. I'm not saying that it's.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would say. It's so all over the place, but so is the story. So it almost kind of requires it.
Yeah.
You're a story
That's
guy.
the kind
I
of
feel like
stories
you'll be
I
able
like,
to follow it.
That's the new hypodermic needle. Is the fact that the next show starts as soon as the other one's over.
I literally had to turn it off. I had I
Yeah.
googled this the other day because it did go into the next episode on something else we were watching, Mr. Robot, I believe, and it was a season finale into a season premiere, and it was like the end of the night for us, and there was 5 seconds, and boom, it was on to the next one. I Don, I
Yeah.
almost wrote a letter. I almost wrote a letter, but instead I went to
I
Google.
almost wrote a letter.
I went to
Damn it.
Google, and they said you
I
got to go to your
practically got
computer
a
to turn off
pen.
the auto scroll or auto play.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I had to do.
Is that true?
And now it doesn't do it
There's a
anymore,
thing
but
you
thank
can
God.
do? Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, but that's what they do. They hook you and they go, oh, now we're just going to roll it right in. So they never stop watching.
Yeah, and they did. It was a success. I woke up early and went right back to it.
Yeah.
Can we talk about A Bug's Life real quick?
Sure.
I
I still
in
get
preparation
texts, so we
in,
certainly can.
in preparation to talk to you tonight, I put that after I finished the other show, I threw that on in the background today while I was working. A couple things struck me. First of all the Pixar movies are just great. I just love the Pixar movies. Not every single one, but I really, really enjoy their version, their art of storytelling. Secondly, I was taken with what a good movie it was, what a good story it was. And again, it felt very, I guess that one never goes out of season because of what you're saying there. But the David and Goliath, the whole big business and us little people, it's really a great, great story. And I just want to
It's
give you
Seven
kudos.
Samurai.
Please
Seven
say again.
Samurai. It's Seven Samurai.
Oh,
The Magnificent Seven.
and there it is.
I just went to a full screen. Is that you're doing?
I did. We have a full television studio here, so it seems a shame not to miss it. So whenever you talk, I like putting you. I thought maybe you'd tell me something about Bug's Life.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about Bug's Life?
Well, I'll tell you my intro into him, how we got into it. We wrote, my ex-partner and I, we wrote, also worked on, co-wrote Hercules with Disney.
The movie or the
And,
show?
The Hercules, the movie, the
Oh,
animated movie.
wonderful.
And it was our first job out here, when we moved out to L.A. And we were almost finished, and they flew us up to San Francisco to meet the people at Pixar. And they took us out to lunch, and we had all these notes and everything. So they already had a script, like a basic script, the first draft. And they brought us up for lunch, and we had notes and everything, and all these things how we could fix it and help. And we get up there, and they're showing us all those fixes. They'd already done it. But we went out to lunch, and we talked about, there were some things we had, but and they hired us at the end of the lunch. We had the job at the end of lunch.
That's amazing.
So-
It doesn't happen that way.
And then we finished up on Hercules. We had finished up Hercules on a Friday in L.A., and we were working on Monday in San Francisco.
Oh my
So
gosh.
on A Bug's Life. It was the best time I ever had in my life, living in San Francisco. It was the richest I ever was, too. We had per
Did they
diems.
put you
paid
up?
for my part.
Beautiful.
I had a $100 per diem, 2-bedroom apartment overlooking the bay on the second to last floor of right on Broadway. And my partner had his own 2-bedroom apartment. And they rented us a car. And we each had a car. I went to them. I did some research. I found out I could buy a brand new Saab convertible, lease a Saab convertible, and insurance. I went to them with a package. I said, "Look, I can get this with insurance," and it was less than they were renting some crappy little car for me. And they said, "Sure." So for like 8 months, they paid my lease on a Saab convertible, brand new Saab convertible, and my insurance.
I love it. I mean, you're getting an allowance either way. What's the difference how you spend it? That's great.
So,
900
and I
or
love
9.3
living in
maybe?
San Francisco. 900 something, so it was 8. Again, there's where I'm bad with dates, but 80 something, 80. Oh, so let's see. Seinfeld was 94, so it was after that. What am I saying? 92. So 98, I guess. 90. So 98. So
Well, it's just a lovely movie, and I don't know. Is it? I guess maybe Disney Plus is probably where you watch it these days. We own it, so you're welcome.
yeah, I own it too. I own it too.
We
My
bought it.
mother had it on her. My mother had the video, the VCR, VCS.
The
What is
white
it? What was it
Disney
called?
cassette,
The video cassette.
the white
You know, what
softbox
was the big tape? What was the tape called? I can't remember.
VHS, right?
Yeah. My mother had my mother had that on her, you know, cabinet, her TV cabinet. All people would walk in and that would be there. Oh, my son wrote that.
Any chance to talk about it, right?
Well, she was proud of it. You know,
Of course.
she came to the premiere of Hercules was in New York, so she came. I got her and some of my family into that and on Broad on 42nd Street, whatever theater that was.
Hercules, I'm not as familiar with. I know the story, obviously, but I'm not as familiar with the Disney. That was animated, right? That was proper ink and paint animated, that one?
Yeah, that was a two-dimensional. Yeah, that was old animation. Yeah, like that was kind of the cusp. That was one of the last few they made. It was the
Well,
same
that's kind
guys
of
that did
interesting to me.
Little Mermaid and yeah. Oh, I loved it.
Well, I'm thinking, though, I
We
mean,
had
that's
you
one of
know
the
the
last
building
of.
in L.A. that
This lag is killing me. That's one of the last
yeah, it was
of
the end
that
of that
type
era. Yeah.
of artwork that before they went to the Pixar computer animation, the 3D animation, and Bugs Life was not the first, but it was among probably the first three or four, right? That's one of the first Pixar movies I remember seeing after Toy Story.
Well, Bugs Life was the second Pixar movie.
So, okay, so after Toy Story,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. Wow, that's amazing. What year was Bugs Life? I should know that.
Again, I think it was 1998, but I don't know.
Oh, that's what you just said. I'm sorry. Gosh.
I just said it, but I could be completely wrong. The fact
That's
that I
why we
said
had
it
you.
doesn't make it
This
right.
is this is the no fact checking show. Nobody will call you back.
Yeah.
How has COVID been treating you? I know you said your life isn't that different and you're actually more social and active, but what about, dates and work and you're not performing, I'm assuming, right? Or are you doing Zoom shows like everybody else?
Well, I was on a ship. Uh, I did my last show on March 16th on a ship, which happens to also be my birthday. So the last time I did a show was on my birthday.
Happy birthday.
And I had like 25 grand worth of work going on. I was going to go to Australia the week after that on a ship, and and then everything shut down. But even while I was on those 2 weeks, I was just out of Hawaii and around. Like I flew to Hawaii and 2 weeks back to San Diego, and they they were still that the thing was happening, obviously. And you go into you'd see it all over, like everywhere. You went into the restaurant there, you had to wash your hands with the Purell. You go to you could look in the casino anytime anybody finished playing the slot machines.
Yeah,
Somebody was there to wipe it
swabbing it
down right
down.
afterward. Yeah, so my wife was very worried. I mean, I really only got the gigs because a lot of people couldn't do them because they had been to China or they'd gotten off another ship. So I got all this work. They were hoping that they didn't have to shut down and all, but they did. Like the day before, so I got off a ship on the 18th of March, and I'm going to do a show next week, but outside in a parking lot. So
Or are you doing the Magic Castle show? Somewhere else. What are you doing next week?
no, Magic Castle or the
Yeah, they've got
comedy
something going on in their
Magic.
parking lot lately.
I'm doing it's in Ventura. It's at the Ventura Harbor and at
Oh, is it Randy
the
Lubis's?
Oxnard Performing Arts.
Okay.
Yeah, but he doesn't own it anymore. Randy doesn't. It's Andres does it now. I think Randy sold out on it on
Oh,
that
okay.
anyway. And then this guy Andres, who was his partner, he runs it, but he also has restaurants there. So I'm doing it at. I think he's doing it, and again, I'm very unclear of. I texted him yesterday to give me information so I could say it on here if anybody was in the neighborhood, but I never got back to me. But he owns a Cuban restaurant there as well on the pier, in the harbor,
Okay.
and I think it's there. And then I have to go down the road to the Oxnard or something, Performing Arts Center or something, and do it in the parking lot. Here's my opening joke. Here's my opening joke for the parking lot. Honk if you think women and men are different.
By a show of honking.
Here's my biggest problem with working again. For over 10 years, my opening joke was I'd walk on a stage, and this is probably 15 years, and I would, it started out with the bird flu, and I would get on stage and go, "Thank you, thank you very much. It's good to be here. Thank you. I just got back. sorry. I just got back from South Africa, wherever the thing was."
Mm-hmm.
And when it was the bird flu, I actually would have a feather in my hand, and I'd go, and I go, "Don't worry, I don't have a bird flu." I go, and a feather would fly out of my mouth. And then it was ever the next thing was, and it was ever the next thing was. And I actually did it with this on the ship. I said I just got in from China, and it was still funny,
Right.
because it was so new. But I want to do it now. I want to do it next week by doing the same coffin thing. I just got back from a Trump rally.
Again, your audience is very divided.
I'm afraid of that. I mean, I've heard all that even before all the pandemic. Like jokes like that, you're just starting a fight in the audience.
Yeah, I mean that used to be a creative choice that a comedian could make, right? Oh, I'm going to say something that's divisive, and then we'll get something going here, get some action happening, get some energy.
Now you get yelled at and go "fuck you" and blah blah.
Yeah,
blah.
it's a dangerous ploy these days because everyone's sort of fighting to the death. I mean, it's kind of like, are you going to incite the civil war in the Comedy Store?
Yeah. Well, here's the song I'm going to do. You want me to do a song for you?
Oh, I would like nothing more than a song. I'm going to give you your own camera. I hope you don't mind.
I'm not. Here's the thing. Here we go. Whoops. Please stay away from me. Please stay away from me. You stay in your house, and I'll stay in mine. You can Zoom me or drop me a line. Just don't come near me till this all is benign. Please stay away from me. I said please stay away from me. Some folk think this is all gonna magically go away. Well, those folk are as dumb as can be. We all gotta stick together and listen to Dr. Fauci and not Crazy D. Let's just sit back and let's see. Let's agree to disagree. But I say this with no ambiguity. Please stay away from me. I said please stay away from me. I really mean it. Please stay away from me.
Yeah, I loved it.
I wanted to see if it would work. You laughed once or twice. That's enough.
I did. Well, more than that, you are very musical, and I forgot that about you. Weren't you going to be a musician first? Or were you a musician first?
Well, I thought I was.
Yeah,
Here's
well.
hang on. Yeah.
Well, that was just lovely. Was that a ukulele or a mandolin? I couldn't tell. I couldn't see it.
It was a mandolin.
Beautiful.
You want to hear that story?
Of course. I'm a huge Bruce Hornsby fan, so
that mandolin.
rain down your mandolin rain.
So I was opening for a couple of years for Howie Mandel, and we were in Vegas at the Caesar's Palace, the old Caesar's Palace. And I have to do 25 minutes. This is all your tops. If you go over a little at 25, that's fine. But 20 minutes, 25. I'm up on stage for less than 5 minutes, and people are making noise right up front, talking, and I go, please, I only have a little time here. Can you keep it down? They go, she had a heart attack. I go, what? She had a heart attack. I go, hey, somebody had a heart attack. And then, so I go, should I get off? And the stage manager's back going, nope, you can't get off. And
Keep it going.
Howie's there. Howie shows up a little later, but he wasn't there yet because it was very early. And they made me stay on. I have to stay on. Now I was on there for over 40 minutes.
Oh,
stage.
my God, because you've got to keep them occupied while this action's
I keep
happening?
them occupied. And the EMS come in and take her away, and I still have to keep talking. And I, to this day, do not have any idea what I said. I got laughs. I got one guy who said, "You're an asshole." And I go, "Look, buddy, and I said whatever I said, and the people go, "Yeah, fuck you, that guy," And then afterwards, I'm in the green room, Howie's green room. My green room was a little less ornate, and Clint Black. You know who Clint Black is?
Of course. Country singer, black T-shirt.
He's a real good friend of Howie's. And he was in the audience, and he's in the green room, and he comes over to me, and he sits down. He goes, "Man, that was amazing. I've never seen anything like that." I was very impressed. I go, "Yeah, I really don't know what I did. I have no idea what I did." And he's going, "It was fantastic. I can't believe you did that." And we're talking. We're not even talking 5 minutes, and I had just gotten $70,000 from an accident my wife and I were in New York. And I said to him, I go, I'm gonna buy a mandolin this week. I don't know how it came up, but it came up, and I go, I'm going to buy a mandolin. He goes, "You don't have to buy a mandolin. I'll give you a mandolin." I go, "Fuck you. You're not going to give me a mandolin." I don't even know him 5 minutes. I'm saying, "Fuck you" to him. And he goes, No. I got a deal with Gibson. They gave it to me. I go, "Really? You're going to give me a mandolin?" He goes, "Yes. I'm going to give it to you." And he gave me this Gibson mandolin.
Wow. That's unbelievable. It's beautiful.
I went and priced it. It's well over $2,000. I wasn't going to buy a $2,000 mandolin. I'm not.
Did you already know how to play the mandolin?
Yeah, I already had a kind of cheap. I'm not very good. I have it so I can take it on the road to have some music.
It's
so I can play music a little bit because I can't bring my piano. So I just figured I'd have a. So I love and plus it fits in the overhead. And I can't play the guitar because my hands are too small. So
that's amazing. But the song was quite lovely. And, of course, obviously, the Randy Newman, You've Got a Friend in Me.
One of my favorites. That's another thing I've done during the pandemic. My wife for Christmas gave me a Randy Newman songbook. And once the pandemic hit, I got the book out and I learned how to play Marie and Louisiana. Yeah.
Do you know how to play Mandolin Rain? Although that's really just a lot of mandolin.
I don't really play it, no. And there's funny.
It's more of a piano song.
Yeah, but there is a little mandolin in it. I also don't know, and I know a little bit of it, but the REM song "Losing My Religion" is a great mandolin song.
Oh, that's right. I didn't occur to me.
Maggie May, that's Maggie May is a mandolin song. It's kind of thing.
Well, you pluck around fine on that thing. You play around fine.
I know some real good mandolin players. I know, most of my friends growing up were musicians, like from high school on.
Same here. We just I'll tell you because it's kind of exciting for us. We just booked Paul Schaefer's daughter to be on the show in a couple weeks, and hopefully at some point we'll get Paul here as well. But talk about growing up around music and musicians. I knew Paul Schaefer as a kid as well, and this young lady before she was even born, and all of it was Lou Soloff and Dr. John, and just the best names in music at the time, just all hanging around, going to each other's houses,
really
having Halloween parties.
Wow, yeah. And do you remember? And maybe you mean because of that's where you grew up. I remember going to parties and people would bring their instruments to a party and
Yeah,
you'd play.
I
Everybody would
told
play
this.
together.
I told this story just
I guess
yesterday.
that's
No, please go ahead.
no. I let you tell the story. I was finished.
No,
I was
no,
going
I
to say what I
literally
was going to say is like
because we booked Victoria Lily Schaefer yesterday. I was telling someone else the story of the first time I ever met Paul Schaefer was at one of their mutual friends' house. That was a friend of our family as well, Lou Soloff, he was the trumpet player from the Blood, Sweat, and Tears. He was in the Blues Brothers band. He was in the Letterman band. All sorts of stuff. Very, very talented individual. And he would have a Halloween party every year, and we went to it a few years, and it was nothing but musicians, all at his house. They would all bring their instruments, and it would just become a jam till 4 in the morning. Everyone would start drinking or whatever at the whatever party time, 8, 9 o'clock, and whatever was going on. And I would say by 11, everybody was in the living room, and it was nothing but people and their instruments just doing their art, and not for money, just for fun with each other. So cool.
right. Also,
Was it?
Paul Schaefer was in Hercules.
No kidding.
He played Hermes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a funny tie-in. You when you were living in New York, did you ever perform? Were you an active working musician at any point? I know you worked towards it when you were
No.
younger.
No, in high school I was in a couple of bands, and in my, we did. I was in two bands in high school, but we only did the what do you call the shows at high school
Oh, like a talent
reviews,
show or a
talent shows, yeah.
yeah.
And I was in a jug band and a '50s band.
Like a
Yeah.
jug?
Well, there wasn't any jug. That's funny. There was no jug. There was a wash tub bass. There was
Oh
a
yeah,
wash
yeah, yeah.
board,
Yep.
banjo, guitars. I played harmonica and sang, and then we did like a Sha Na Na band
Cool. Doo-wop.
also. So we did two bands, and I was one of the three backgrounds. We did the three choreography guys. And
Who was
singers.
Bowser? Was there a
Mike
Bowser?
Oxius. I guess Mike Oxius was.
Do you remember when they had a show? I remember when I was a little kid. I remember watching a show on Friday nights called Sha Na Na, where it was literally those. It was like a variety show.
Sha Na Na was huge. I mean, people
Oh, it
believe
was.
this.
I just thought I was a
Hey,
little
we're-
kid who liked it.
They were huge. They were huge. They did Woodstock. They were a big hit at Woodstock.
Oh,
They
wow.
weren't in the movie, but they were at Woodstock.
I didn't realize.
And the first place I lived here in L.A., over by the tar pits, over by La Brea, I lived in a house that had like 4 apartments, buildings, and like 4. And Reggie, I'm trying to remember. I think his name was Reggie. He was in Sha Na Na. He was one of the singers in Sha Na Na. So that was interesting. He ended up buying that building that I lived in. He bought it from the old landlords. They were like in the 80s or whatever, and he bought it. Probably sold it because they tore it down and put a different building up. But that was that much. But I saw Sha Na Na probably 5 or 6 times in high school.
Oh, cool.
That was
As a
big-
kid, I remember the guy had the piano player had an outfit that looked like a piano.
That piano player is one of the best piano players in the world. That guy is great. He's
Yeah.
a really good piano player. He's good.
Are you the kind of guy who's got a story for everything? Because everything I've brought up, even ancillarily something to try to be interesting, you're like, oh, I've got a story about that. I know that guy. That guy was in this.
I have no idea. It just might have worked out that way. Hang on one second.
Time for us.
I just wanted to open up the shades, get some more light in here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, it's a little bit better now.
Sure. Whatever you like.
It just so happens that I do. All I know about me, I'm a very quiet guy, and I sit back. I do and once in a while I do this thing on Tuesday night with a bunch of other writers, and a Zoom thing. I just sit back and listen. And that's what I do at parties. I say hello to people, and I find a seat with my drink, and I watch people talk. But when I have a conversation, I can take place. I can. So it just so happens that I had stories for everything. Good thing, because I had nothing planned to tell you.
I I very much relate to what you just said. I call myself an observer because I would much rather be a wallflower taking in the entire scene rather than having one conversation with one person. And I don't mean
Yeah.
that wholeheartedly, but I mean at a party, I'm not dissimilar to you. Okay, let's go get the drink or the food or whatever. Let's say hello. Let's get the obligatory things out of the way, and now let's find a place to camp out.
And plus, I hang out with very interesting people, so they're probably more interesting than I am. So why don't I sit back and shut up?
I think if you really think that, I think you're very smart and enlightened. I don't know if that's a bit or if you really think and believe that, because you're pretty
No,
damn smart and
I wasn't
interesting.
putting myself down. I'm not interesting, and I'm not. I'm just saying that if you're around people that are interesting, why don't you learn something? I had a friend who used to, and he's a great mandolin player too, and I brought him to a brunch I used to go to with a bunch of writers and producers, and and instead of like sitting back as a first time guest, and he put himself too much into the conversation, and and put people off instead of. You're talking to people who are producing some of the biggest shows on TV. Phil Rosenthal is at the table.
Oh,
Why don't you sit down and listen to what he might have to say instead of telling us about, and nobody's not interested in you personally, but, if I
there's a
have
little bit
something to
of
say, I'll say it.
there was I mean, Read the Room was it was a nuance in the old days, and nowadays I feel like every single person has to be told, "Hey, read the room." Is there
I
a
get,
lack of awareness going on that we didn't used to have, or is it just a sliding scale and it gets progressively worse?
I just think that people, and this is another generation, I think, the younger, that they're so coddled and been, everything was about them, that there's no other people in the world but them. They're the most interesting thing in the world. I mean, you look at these shows, you look at the Kardashians and Paris Hilton, like, why? They're only interesting because they say, because they think they are.
Right. Celebrity for the sake of celebrity.
Yeah. Or that they've been told there's nothing wrong with you. You get a trophy whether you just for participating. No, you get a trophy for winning. You don't get a trophy, or you get second or third place.
Right.
And in that realm, it used to be when you got third place, you go, oh fuck, I didn't get first place.
I don't disagree. I think you're illuminating something that I couldn't really find. Maybe there used to be a diligence that was built in with, oh, you got to do hard. If you want a result, you got to do some hard work. And nowadays that's not necessarily true if
You
you've
have to
got the
show
right
up.
algorithm, if you've got the right social media, if you've got the right trumpet of some sort.
Yeah. Or you just show up and they give you an award for showing up.
The participation award, yeah.
So
What can
I
we
don't know.
do? What can we do to help move the needle in what you consider the right direction
About
as
that,
individuals?
I have no idea. I think it's also, that sort of thing holds over to even driving. You look at people driving; they drive like there's nobody else in the world but them.
Yes.
And I don't know if there's anything you can do.
Well, that's why I'm asking. It feels that way at this point. It feels like we're at a point of no return, and it feels like, oh, well, that's why we've got COVID and the government and every conspiracy theory you could possibly throw a book at these days. I feel like, oh, are we past the point of no return? And this is the only answer is a civil war, and it's gonna just get crazy, and then there's less population or whatever. I
Yeah,
don't see that being the only way to do it. I feel like there's
yeah.
got to
I
be.
don't know that it's that dire
Okay,
for
good.
that. I mean, there might be a civil war because Trump is fomenting it and and giving a license to people that are in militias and stuff, and telling them, "Hey, be a racist. It's okay with me as long as you like me." So I just I, that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
That to me is, I'm just hoping in 2 weeks from today, or yesterday, or 2 days ago, whatever, a week from Thursday, let's put it that way, uh, that this is on a road to ending. Because if Trump wins, there's no turning back. There's no. I believe in my heart that the world has 20 years left ecologically.
Okay.
We're not cutting back on anything. I mean, it's not going to die in 20 years, but you can't go out. In 20 years, you're not going to be able to go outside without a gas mask and an oxygen tank, or it's
Right.
going to be too hot and you're just going to die. You have to have some suit that keeps you cool, and the water is going to be gone and all that stuff.
Right.
That's in 20 years, unless tomorrow we stop fucking up everything.
But they've
But
been
with
saying
Trump,
that since like the 80s, since tomorrow, and I
yeah,
haven't seen tomorrow change for anybody other than
no,
the few folk we know who are trying to make a difference.
yeah, but it's also exacerbated. There are all these timelines. Things get worse because they got worse. So it's exponential. So
That's what I
the
find.
temperature's going up every year. Every
Yep.
year is hotter than the year after. That's not
And
going to
it seems
change.
like each year they say too, oh, beyond estimates, worse than estimates. Oh, we have exceeded the estimate on every single scale toward the negative. And when it comes to that stuff, I happen to feel the same way you do about if we don't change anything, we're fucked. So what on earth do we change? Is it a population problem? Is it a hate problem? Is it, you know what I mean? Like, what is it? Is it?
I don't think there's any problem in the world more important than ecology, than the climate change. Nothing else really matters. Other things matter, but though everything, it doesn't matter if you have a job if you can't breathe or drink water. It doesn't
Right.
matter if you're in power. If I don't understand why politicians who have children. I don't have kids, so it doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna go. My wife's gonna go. Fuck it, you know. But
Right.
you have kids and grandchildren, and these people just because of the economy, because they want to give you jobs. We're
Yeah.
gonna dig coal so people have jobs.
Well, I
Well,
mean, that's not true. Yeah.
if,
It's a
if
moneymaker.
you dig, yeah, but it doesn't matter how much money you have.
Oh,
You
I
can't
agree with you, but that's
can't eat and drink money.
but someone with that sensibility will not agree with you. It
Yeah,
does matter
but
how much money you have
we're
in
gonna
every
have
little bit.
water wars. I mean, you know what the next big war is gonna be about? Water.
Yeah, I agree with you.
In 20 years, people are going to be fighting over whatever drinkable water there is. We'll be drinking toilet water because that's it. And then your toilets, you go everywhere you go, the toilets will be dry because that's been drunk.
Unbelievable.
it's yeah. And do you know that it takes more water to make a bottle that you put water in than it holds?
No,
Yeah. Well, there you go. So to have that water in a bottle takes more water to make it than it holds. So
that's ridiculous. When I was a
I don't.
kid and Tupperware was new, and they had the Tupperware parties, and they come to your house and they sell all the housewives
Yeah.
Tupperware, all that shit. They were saying, "Oh, and this is the amazing new material, DuPont plastic, blah blah blah, and it's got a half life of 50,000 years." And I looked around the room. I was a little kid. I mean, maybe 3, 4 years old when this stuff. I looked around the room, and there's like 20 people in this room, and they each need like 50 pieces of Tupperware, and that's 100 pieces of Tupperware per person, and they're all going to last 50,000 years. The math doesn't add up. We're only going to last 100 if you're really, really lucky. It just doesn't add up. And that was my
Well,
first. So I've been looking
you
at
could
plastics
leave
my entire life because of
you
that
could leave your
moment.
Tupperware to your children. You could will it to your
That's right. That's right. And you
grandchildren.
squeeze it because it burps.
That's 800 generations of Tupperware. So maybe, except that
Don
people throw
McEnery,
them
is
out.
there? Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off. Is there anything
That's right.
that you want to cover that we didn't get to tonight? We've done the hour.
No, I have nothing I wanted to cover. I figured we just, like as I said, we'll just shoot the shit and see what happens.
I love it. I find you incredibly interesting. I feel like you should live on a boat in the marina selling Dos Equis as the most interesting guy.
I would never say I was the most interesting guy, but thank you.
I think that's why I'm saying it. It's very clear that you wouldn't ever say it. It's very clear that these things just sort of trickle out of you. And to me, that is a delight.
And that's what I like about having a conversation. I find out things I didn't know I knew, or it just comes up. So to me, it's a pleasure to do. It's good to see you again, and I'm hoping good wishes to your wife as well.
Thank you so much. I'm hoping when this blows over, you'll come visit us in person again.
I would love to. I love that set. It's nice. I had told Chancellor, I said I would do the thing, and then I got back to him. I go, I'm not going to go to somebody's apartment. I can't do it. He goes, No, you're doing it remote. I go, okay, then I'll do it.
Yeah, that's we're all set up. It depends on the person. Some people still like to come in. Some people still like to, and we're fine either way. You can't tell too much, but we've actually distanced a bit. And I mean, I came from union work at NBC in New York, so like I still swab the microphones every time anyway, just because I'm OCD like that.
I'm worried about next week. My wife's more worried.
All right, so and we're Harbor Comedy. We don't know what the hell it is.
Ventura
or when it
Harbor, Ventura
up in
Harbor,
Oxnard.
somewhere on the Ventura Harbor, and then Oxnard, I think.
And it's going to be one of those outdoor parking lot.
Both
shows.
of them are outdoors. Yeah.
Okay.
Everything's
All right.
outdoors.
How would people keep up with you? Are you on the Twitter? Are you on Instagram?
No, I'm old.
Good for you. Facebook? Nothing at all?
I'm on Facebook.
Okay. Facebook at Don McENERY, I'm assuming.
Donald McENEry, probably. That's my name on Facebook.
Fair enough. Only on Facebook. All right. Well, that's it. I enjoyed this. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for sticking with it.
Thank you.
And
I had a good time.
When you feel like it and when you have something you want to talk about, come back.
Definitely come back. I had a good time.
Thank you, Don McENEry. Everybody, Don McENEry, go follow him on Facebook. And if you're in the Ventura area, check him out in a week or so up in the Oxnard Harbor parking lot.
Now I got to rush to watch the Borat movie. So,
I am so excited for this weekend. We've got the Letterman,
I got a
the
screening
Letterman
that I
show
can
on
watch at
Netflix,
6 o'clock. Yeah,
and then you got Rudy Giuliani and Borat on Amazon.
yeah, that's on now, and I got to go get it up on Amazon.
It's a
I
big
can
week.
get it for free right now.
It's a big week.
So,
All right, Don
take
McENEry.
care.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much. Talk to you soon. All right, good stuff. I think we should roll the TBT because it's Thursday, and we started to do it before. Check in with Breakfast Club. This will be nice since we're going to be up there tomorrow. Roll it, Hal. Nice, wasn't it? Make friends wherever we go. Angela's Crest, preparations, windows, fuel, air. That's what it is. All right, hit it up.
I love you.
I love you too.
Starting to get some early arrivals at Breakfast Club. We've got House is here, and Tyson from Pro Motorsports. And we're waiting for Danny to open.
Hey, Jay.
Hi, Jack.
You have the
Altitude. What are you doing? Altitude compensator under the seat. What's going on down here? Well, stupid car just pulled out, but we got a little situation here. Yeah. Figure that out. They all leak. They all leak a little bit. How was it, fellas? It was fun.
It is regular.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. think it's time to wrap it up. It's after 6. I think we're good. I think we've done it all. I think we've gotten to it. Tomorrow, we'll be at Breakfast Club. Come on up to Newcomb's Ranch if you feel like it, 9 to 11. Should be a good time, good vibes for all. Thank you very much to Don McENEry, who was here, sort of, here via Zoom. And love his song, by the way. Please stay away from me. Check that out. Thank you very much for tuning in this evening. Thank you for tuning in general. We love everybody at home. I should tell you a few minutes about the people who sponsor this program. One is Hunziker Designs, Nicholas Hunziker and Heather Hunziker. If you're in a part of the world where you should be wearing a mask and you see somebody who isn't, you could say to them, hey, need a mask? ShopHunziker.com. That's what I did. Get this #1 deal right here, the Italia. Boy, I love it. In fact, I just got sent another one the other day. So, not going to run out. Good stuff. ShopHunziker.com. HUNZIKER. ShopHunziker.com. And it's a good time to tell you about St. Clair Insurance. I'm going to tell you all about it. I didn't think this through. I thought I could set these up. Anyway, I'm going to tell you all about St. Clair Insurance. You know, they say all that separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. St. Clair Insurance has coverage for your toys. What kind of toys? Anything. Cars, jet skis, your home, your business, anything that is insurable. Check out coverageforyourtoys.com. Get yourself set up with Jeff Sinclair. And if you're an existing Haggerty customer, you've got a collector car or a collection already, and Haggerty is already your provider. If you don't have a rep, if you did maybe through the Haggerty website or something, check out coverageforyourtoys.com. It's no additional cost. You can get yourself a rep. You can have somebody who is your contact for your Haggerty insurance, and we highly recommend Jeff Sinclair for that. So coverageforyourtoys.com, check it out, and make sure your toys are covered. I think that's it. We've done the stuff. I wanted to say a shout out to my buddy Sean Lindauer. Love you so much, buddy. See you tomorrow. Love my new hat. I wear it all the time, and I'm telling everybody about it. Go to Sean Lindauer, ShonLindauer. I screwed that up, but Sean Lindauer. I'll do it right here. Here we go. ShonLindauer. I did get it right. And get yourself a Save the Earth hat. Super comfortable. Super good stuff. Love everybody. Please love one another. We will see you tomorrow at Breakfast Club. It's a full weekend. I'll be in Malibu on Sunday, too. Something on Saturday. I can't remember. Please love one another. We've got an election coming up pretty soon, and people on the streets are pretty concrete about who they're voting for. And from my experience, they don't mind telling you. When I was a kid, you weren't supposed to talk about it because it caused all sorts of problems. Money, religion, politics. You didn't talk about those things. Nowadays, there's social media platforms solely to discuss all of those things. I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm just letting you know. I don't know how I feel about it. But hang in there and try to be positive. I think that we're all going to be fine. I think that the stuff Don McENEry was talking about is fixable. I don't think we have to be fighting over water in 20 years. So let's figure it out now. Let's start now. Love you. Love you so much. We'll see you out there. And thanks again for watching Late Night Playset. See you next time.